Um, Today we are going to continue with the tutorial of how to do the slider with no programming or very little programming. And basically I'm continuing with the where we left in the last tutorial, but I have added a couple of things so we don't have to go through things that we did already again. Basically I added this image and this little text. So now we have three slides with more text. So if we play this on the browser, we can see the what we have to start today. So we have the butterfly in the wild with the text, then the fruit salad, and finally the new image with some text. Uh, the problem is this plays once and then basically it doesn't do anything else. So this is not good because it plays only once. We need this to continue playing repeatedly, so to loop. How do we do that? So we go back to the thing here and we say, okay, let's leave the last image like a second and a half. So let's put this, let me see, this control around 15 seconds and a half. And now we can add a trigger. So if you see in the left of the elements or the timeline here, there are brackets. Those brackets allow you to add actions to objects. And we have also bracket with a dot here that is basically a way to insert triggers on the timeline. So since we have selected the 15 and a half seconds, if we add a trigger here, it will be applicable for that particular time. It can be not only time, but it can be also a name action. So we can say, let me explain this before and then we go. So here, what we are interested is when it reaches the 15 and a half seconds, we want that to go back to 0 and play from 0. So let's replay this from 0. So now if we do Control Enter and we play that in the browser again, after 15 and a half seconds, we will see the animation looping, and this will loop forever because each time that it goes to 0, it goes back to start the whole animation. So we see here that this is looping as we expected. But there was a problem. If you remember, the first image appeared without any animation, so it looks like a strange. Let's see it now. Right here, it appears without any transition. So I mean, it's working, but we can do better than that. So in order to do that, let's remove this trigger, and let's select all the elements, all the transitions that we have already. I use the control key with the mouse click in order to select more elements. And now we want to move this a little bit to the right so we can add a transition. Let's move this to the right, let's say to around 5 seconds. We will start that at 5 seconds or so. And now we will add a copy of the last image, the heavy light protection. We will add a copy of this right on 0, 0, and we put this on the bottom. So okay, let's move this a little bit so we can see all the stuff here, and we move this one to be the bottom one. So now we see that it appears here, but of course if we go to 0, 0, we will see only the butterfly because it's always there and it's on top of the other one, so it's basically covering that. So what we want to do is, let's say that at 2 seconds, we want to select this one and do exactly what we did with the others. We create a keyframe and we move this one to the right at 960 and 0. Let's put 0 here. And after a couple of seconds, we want that to be back at 0. So now if we go back to the beginning, we see the last image, and then the transition to the first one, and the whole thing. And now let's say that we want the start to be around here, so we can see the transition, or even here, yeah, something like that. So we will see the start of the transition there, and we can play with that. But then we want a label here instead of recording. Okay, I have to loop to this particular time. I want to loop to a particular label. So instead of making the trigger to 2.25 here, I will put a label at that particular place, and let's say that we call this start. And let's go back here, and we add a couple of seconds, let's say here, and we put a label there, and we say, okay, this is end. And at end, now we want to put the trigger, and we say play from, and instead of 1000 or 0, this time we put start like this, and let's play it to see what happens. So okay, we see an error because it's starting with the other one. It's not starting in the place that we want, so we have to do something in addition to that. But at least we see that is going to be more closer to what we want. Yeah, that's much better. So let's close this and go back to the stuff here, and we want this starting when this starts from the start. So we say, okay, let's do a trigger at 0 0, and we tell this play from, and we can do here again from start. Now let's play it back again. Now we see this starting with an animation, and it looks more natural. And voila. So I think we accomplished what we wanted. So what we learned this time, okay, how to move all the timeline objects, how to add triggers, how to add labels to the timeline. And next time we are going to cover interactivity, because this slider is nice, but the user cannot move from one slide to the other manually. They have to wait until things happen. So see you next time for adding some interactivity to the slider. Bye bye.